Assalamu alaikum. How successful have we been? What is good software? Good software engineering result in a high quality software that we learned in the previous lecture, that there is a relationship between software engineering and the quality, that we have standard methodologies, standard techniques, standard tools. The result will be high quality software. So there are three ways to consider quality: quality of the product, quality of the process, and quality of the product in context of business environment. So quality of the product are quality attributes that we learn: functionality, reliability, dependability, portability. So user judge external characteristics like correct functionality, number of failures, type of failures, whereas designers and maintainers, the team, judge internal characteristics, for example, types of faults. So different stakeholders may have different view, different criteria. So we need quality models to relate the user view to the team, software development team's view. And quality of the process, the development process, the methodology, SDLC, how much it is of standard and how much it is of quality. So we need to model our requirements, and we need to model should address, when we model we need to address some questions. For example, what kind of fault, how to find faults early, how to build fault tolerance, exception handling, what are the alternative activities. And then you have quality models. We have ISO. In ISO we have several models. 9000 series is there, 9000, ISO 14000, ISO 20000. So ISO 9001 version 2000 is applicable for software development, for software quality. It considers the quality, and ISO has 14 clauses. 14 clauses. Each class has different questions, gives different verifications, different criterias. You need to address each class from start to end, plan to deployment. And we have quality model that we will cover inshallah in the upcoming chapters. I'm just touching it here, that we have Software Engineering Institute in America, and there is a university, its name is Carnegie Mellon University. Like MIT, which is the number one in IT, CMU, Carnegie Mellon University, is the number one in software engineering. Let me show you, if you are not aware about that. CMU, Carnegie Mellon University, it is number one in software engineering, and they have a department, software engineering department, software engineering institute, SEI. And SEI introduced CMM, a quality model. CMM, capability maturity model, and it has been upgraded into CMMI, capability maturity model integration. Capability maturity model integration, CMMI, which is the latest model. So we need to consider quality models, and we need to consider the quality methodologies. That is all under the quality of the process. So as I just said, under the quality of process, you need to consider quality methodologies and quality models. That is all under the quality of process. Quality of process. Then quality in terms of business environment. We have a concept, it's called BEP, break even point. Break even point means You have investment, yes, you have investment 1000 real, and break even point means you achieved from the business 1000 real, equal to that money. So as a businessman, the businessman will not invest even a single real until you make him sure that whatever the investment he will make in the business, it will come and he will get profit. Like if he spends 1 real, 10 real will come. If he spends 100 real, 500 will come. 1000, 5000 will come, or 10,000 will come. Like, because software cost is very, it's a huge amount, large amount, like millions, billions. For example, SAP, its one module cost is 9 million, and whole SAP package is 2 billion plus, most expensive software in the world. Now if you have to ask him to invest, to purchase such software, so you have to convince him that whatever the money he will spend, he will have break even point, and after that he has ROI, return on investment. Not only he will receive the money he spent, but his profit is there. He will get the profit, return on investment. That break even point mean like it's a 5-year plan. After 3 years, BEP will achieve, break even point will achieve, and then profit will start. That is return on investment. That is the concept you have to consider in terms of business environment. That's when software customer will implement, it is also profitable for him. His money will not sink, not like Titanic. He will get the profit out of that. So we have business value is very important in terms of developing the software for a customer, because customer has to invest money. It's like blood of the company, and he should get profit out of that. Otherwise he will not be ready. As a businessman, he will not be ready to invest, because he wanted to make sure. Otherwise, why he purchased software? He can open another business, he can start a new business, new startup, instead of purchasing a software. So return on investment is considered in terms of how much the cost will be reduced, how much the saving customer will have, how much his productivity will be improved, how much his cost will be cut down in terms of effort and resources. Then he will be ready. Like for example, General Electric company, and I discussed in the last lecture, they have product diesel engine, which is very popular product, and they have an engineer, David I. Smith, senior engineer, and he was working with General Electric for 40 years, and 150K, $150,000 is the salary per month approximately, plus traveling allowance, hoteling, 5-star, 4-star hotel, PADA daily allowance, PADA daily allowance, tickets. That is all almost 150K again, approximately 1,000, $3,000, $300,000 1 month. The money General Electric was spending, and then at the age of 65, he said, "Thank you very much. I wanted to retire. Enough is enough." And he was traveling throughout the USA at all service centers, 50 states. Now General Electric decided to develop a system, and they call it Great Delta. They call this project Delta. General Electric spent huge money to develop this system, and it took 5 years to develop an expert system in which all the knowledge of David I. Smith was transferred into the system, preserved. So it was an expert system, and it was tested and successfully deployed at all service centers. Now, this 5 years, General Electric was continuously spending money, and they were suffering from the customers as well. But after this, they know they will save huge money, like $300,000 per month. No need to hire a new engineer or senior engineer. Traveling allowance, daily allowance, hoteling allowance, tickets, all will be saved. And customers are happy because now engines are repaired within couple of days instead of waiting 2 months, 3 months for the senior engineer that he will visit the state and then our engine will be fixed. So that's an example that there is a return on investment. Similarly, we have ATM systems that saves huge money. Automation like car manufacturing, motorbike manufacturing, automation is there, or ERP system. How to define an ERP system? Enterprise Resource Planning Systems. How to define Enterprise Resource Planning System? ERP is a collection of integrated systems to automate the business processes of the company. So company processes are automated. For example, attendance system is integrated with payroll system. Attendance system is integrated with payroll. Like KAU, King Abdulaziz University, we have 140 plus departments. Now every department, if sends attendance report of the employees, so 140 departments will send reports to the payroll department that how many present, how many absent, how many leaves. It's a hectic exercise. If attendance system is connected with the payroll, automatically the payroll department can see how many attendance, how many present, no need of manual involvement. So you need lot of resources, efforts, time, cost to prepare a report from each department and send to the payroll department, and then payroll department also need resources to check all those reports, attendance reports, and then calculate the salary. So it's a mess. Similarly, we have logistic support system. Logistic support system all companies need. Instead manually you check how many items are short, how many items you need to order. MIS is directly connected with the BSS or ES. The decision support system, management information system is connected with decision support system or with the expert system. You don't need to manually check that how many items are short in the stock and then to order to the supplier. System automatically check that these items inventory is short, and then they will order to the suppliers and the vendors to maintain the stock. It's automatic process. There will be no delay, no time, cost, effort, resources are consumed. So you saved all this, and that is the reason ERP systems are getting popularity, because they have high return on investment. Even though SAP is very expensive, like there is a company, its name is Al Malki Group. Al Malki Group, they have office in Jeddah, Balad. They are the supplier of medical equipments to hospitals like Jeddah Al Ahli, or for example King Abdulaziz University Hospital, Saudi German Hospital, Salman Faki Hospital. For operations, for surgery, they purchased 4 modules at the cost of 36 million real. 36 million SAR. And then every year licensing cost, training cost, still customers are purchasing SAP, and it is the most widely used ERP system in the world because of the benefits, because of tangible and intangible benefits, cost saving, time saving, productivity, effort saving, resource saving. SAP is a commercial ERP system available, number one in the world. SAP company is a German company and it was established in 1972. And then Oracle Finance. Number three, Microsoft Dynamics. These are the three most popular commercial ERP systems in the world. But you can have your customized ERP if you want. For example, in Pakistan, we have NADRA, National Database and Registration Authority. In NADRA, we have ID card, passport, custom, tax. Such systems are integrated. Enter information in one, accessible to all, and vice versa. Similarly, in Saudi Arabia, you have Upshare. Yes, I was going to give example of Upshare. Upshare is also an ERP system. And like Aramco, the actual company is the American company, and Aramco is a sister company of actual company. Company name is Conoco. Conoco is the largest oil refinery company in the world. It's an American company, and Aramco is the sister company of Conoco. They have customized ERP which has 75 applications integrated into one system for top management, for middle management, for lower management. And similarly, third example, the customized ERP. In America, there is a company, realestate.com, and there is realestate.com in EU as well, in Australia.au. They have a project, customized ERP, its name is Great. And this project was first attempted by an Indian company, its name is Infosys. Let me show you. This is the Infosys company website. Infosys, an Indian multinational company, and their head office is in Bangalore, India. And you can see their number of employees, and you can see the revenue, $14 billion. And then this project, they took almost 2 to 3 years to develop an ERP system for realestate.com, and they wasted 2 years because the project manager was not experienced and he thought it's an ERP system, so he tried to collect requirements comprehensively, but meanwhile requirements were changing, and after 2 years company was frustrated, customer was frustrated, that waste software, and they cancelled the project. And then this project was bid by Pakistani company. Its name was Descon Infosys. It was also Infosys, but Descon Infosys. And customer sign a contract with them that you will deliver release after every 2 weeks, and you will use agile methodologies. And there is a American consultancy company, agile trainer, agile certified trainer, a scrum master trainer, Mountain Goat. The website Mountain Goat. Let me show you. Mike Cohen is the chief executive, the certified trainer. Mountain Goat software, and you will train your team from Mountain Goat, from Mike Cohen, before starting this project. And I am talking about 2007-2008. From 2007-2008, customer asked them to first deliver a pilot project of 3 months time was there, and the company Descon Infosys successfully deployed the milestone. Customer asked them to deliver in 3 month pilot project, and then ERP system was assigned to this company and contract was signed. And from 2007-2008 till today, this ERP system is in progress. They are continuously delivering the releases. So it is another example of customized ERP system. MIT implemented SAP. MIT is the #1 IT university in the world. And one of the professors from MIT came to King Abdulaziz University and in FCIT, and I attended his session. He had made a speech there, and he told in his speech that we took 13 years to implement SAP, and SAP is integrated with the existing systems. Now all systems are integrated. They have previous systems, the existing systems, and now they have SAP as well. So SAP is integrated with the existing systems, and it took 13 years to implement SAP there, and it's integrated with the all existing systems. So I hope so I try to answer your question. So you have to take risk, but you have to invest, and then with the passage of time, return on investment will come if you made correct decision. Quality of product, quality of product, quality of process, and quality of the product in terms of business environment. We need to consider all of them to achieve high quality software. So from customer point of view and from software company point of view, both stakeholders should have return on investment. Quality attributes I already covered with you, so I'm not going to repeat them, but just to have this definition of quality, the totality of features and characteristics of a product or a service that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. So we already covered. So it's ISO 9002-16 model. These quality characteristics are considered functionality, reliability, usability, efficiency, maintainability, portability. We already discussed, so I'm not discussing them again. There are 4 absolutes. Quality means conformance to requirement. Customer requirements must be satisfied, must be fulfilled, functional and non-functional. That we already discussed. Quality comes from prevention, and that we also discussed. Let me have just touched that. We discussed preventive maintenance in the last lecture. Why we perform preventive maintenance? Some of students asked me this question, and then I explained in the last lecture. I rephrase my question another way. We have one of the behaviors of software. We say software never wears out, but deteriorates. What is the meaning of wears out? Wear out. Wear out means discard or obsolete. Discard or obsolete. Obsolete. Outdated. Discard, obsolete, outdated. Hardware suffers all of this. Like cars also outdated. Machines outdated. But software is never outdated. Hardware suffers from temperature, pressure, humidity, and the software never suffers from this temperature, pressure, humidity, environment. Hardware is a physical thing, like human body. We have age, and with the late age, we suffer lack of power, lack of energy. Our immune system becomes weak, and we have different time periods. We have teenage, we have young, we are mature, and then we become old. Software is a logical thing, and software never outdated. Why? We never say that software is outdated. We say hardware is outdated, like we cannot use Pentium 1, Pentium 2 now. They are outdated. Old cars are outdated. Old machines are outdated. But software is never outdated. Why? Because we continuously update or upgrade the system. Like I gave you example, in like Saudi Electricity Company, SEC. We have Pakistan Electricity Company, but name is different. Pakistan Electricity Company. Some called LESCO, some of them called WABDA. Some of them in different area, we call them K Electric. They have COBOL-based system, and COBOL is no more in usage. New students even don't know this name. Common business-oriented language. In 1970s, 80s, COBOL was very popular to develop commercial systems. This Pakistan Electricity Company, they are using COBOL-based system for electricity billing. Electricity billing, and they are covering entire Pakistan. Homes, domestic, commercial, government, private departments, factories, covering entire Pakistan. And COBOL is a file-based system. COBOL is file-based system because that time databases were not introduced in 1970s. Databases are introduced in 1980s. File-based systems, it's very hard to retrieve the data. It is very hard to connect the data. But it was developed in 1970s and still in use in 2021. And because they are continuously updating it. Similarly, we have stock exchange. Stock exchange. In stock exchange, you buy the shares and sell the shares of different companies. Like we have stock exchange in Jeddah, in Riyadh, to buy the shares of Al-Marai Company, Aramco Company, Nahdi Company, Saudia Company, Afia, Danube, different companies. Share market is there. They are using FoxPro based system, and FoxPro also not in use. It was introduced by Microsoft. FoxPro based system they developed in 1980s, still in use because they are continuously updating it. American Aviation, USA Aviation System, flight control. The flight control systems, they were also developed in 1980s, still in use. So we say software never wears out, never outdated, but it suffers from deterioration. Deterioration means becomes worse over time. Deterioration means lack of quality. Software suffers from lack of quality with the passage of time because we keep on doing different updates, upgrades, and because of that, its size is increased enormously. It grows, and when size is increased, there is an effect. We have cause and effect relation, very popular relation. If we have increase in size, automatically another thing is also increased. What is the effect on software if size is increased directly? If you increase the size, complexity will increase. It's directly proportional. When size of the software is increased, complexity is increased. When complexity increased, what is complexity? Complexity means level of difficulty to solve a problem. When complexity of the software is increased, the result of that, difficult to test and maintain. It's very difficult for the software company to code it, to test it, to maintain it, to update it, to upgrade it. Like for example, we have 3 examples in which size increased and software failed. First example, Microsoft Vista. Vista size is 70 to 80 million lines, as I discussed in the last lecture, lines of code. And because of the large size, Microsoft was not able to test it and maintain it. So it was very poor in quality in terms of reliability. It has a lot of bugs and badly failed in the market. Normally we do preventive maintenance after 10 years, 20 years for legacy systems. Legacy systems are old systems, legacy systems. But Microsoft has to perform preventive maintenance at the early years of Vista. And Microsoft removed 20 to 30 million lines, 30 million lines, and they introduced Windows 7, MS Windows, and Windows 7 was much stable, much successful because it was of better quality than the Vista. So this is because quality goes down. With the passage of time for legacy systems, their size increased and they become slow, less efficient, more maintenance, and difficult to code them, difficult to test them, difficult to maintain them. So you have to perform preventive maintenance to improve the quality of software. Prevention, to prevent the deterioration, lack of quality, to improve the quality of software. Any question how we do preventive maintenance, how we improve the quality? By decreasing the size, one, removing unnecessary features, unnecessary functions, unnecessary code, and changing old algorithm to optimize the algorithm. For example, Google is the most widely used search engine in the world, and their response is 1/1000 of a second, 1 second to 1 millisecond, 1 milli to 1 second, 10 raised power minus 3. That is the response time of Google, and they are using a technology, it's called web semantic technology, and we use a language, it's called OL, ontology web language, in which you have ontologies. Like dictionary, you have character A, and then AA, AB, AC, AD. Similarly, for each character, you have ontology, like for example, one row for each character, then for B, then for C, then for D, Z. So A to Z, you have ontologies. So whenever you write some keyword in Google, automatically it will directly go to that A. For example, you write Dr. Rizwan in Google, it will directly go to D and then R, then R, I. In this way, it will be very efficient to retrieve the data from multiple sources, multiple servers. So it's very efficient. So you can change the old algorithm to new algorithm. You remove unnecessary features, unnecessary functions, like in the Vista Microsoft did, or you are using if-else statements or input statements. Instead of using input first number, input second number, input third number, you can use a loop. You can have only one input statement and then assign this value to another variable and take the second input and then third input till you terminate the loop. So you can remove, for example, there are 10 input statements, you can remove them and you can save almost 18 lines. For if there are 10 inputs, you can have only one input statement instead of 10 input statements. So you cut down the lines, you reduce the size. So these are different tactics. This technique can be used for other purposes as well. So you remove unnecessary code, unnecessary features. That is the reason we say we should not try to cover too many functionalities. This is not quality, that you try to cover too many functionalities. You should cover only MMF, minimum marketable feature. That is the quality. Don't try to cover more features, extra functionality. Only what customer needs, minimum marketable features should be introduced. That is quality, high quality. So when we perform preventive maintenance, we improve the quality. So that's the second absolute for the quality.
Doctor, is the MMF the same like MVP? The same like MVP, like minimum viable product?
Quality is never ending improvement. So you keep on improving. There is no end of that. You keep on improving to achieve perfection. There is nothing perfect in this world except Allah. But as a human, we try to achieve maximum perfection as much as possible. Try to achieve that, try to get close to that. So that's the quality. And quality is zero defect. Even though zero defect is not possible, we can't achieve zero defect. We have never achieved zero defect in any software. Even SAP, which is the most commercial, most widely practiced ERP system in the world, even SAP cannot claim that our software is has zero defects, zero bugs. No, not possible, because it is done by humans. And another problem is that we fix one bug, 10 will come. We fix 10 bugs, 100 will come. So there is a chain reaction like chemistry. Chain reaction is there. So we can't have zero defect, but we try to achieve. That are the four absolutes for the software. What is the benefit? Less number of defects and errors, less rework, reduced development and maintenance cost, increased reliability, increased customer satisfaction, and the happy team, happy software development team. Any question regarding the benefits? Software engineering and quality, the methodology applied, the team which is developing the software, the quality attributes of the product, like we already discussed, quality of the product, quality of the process, and quality of the product in terms of return on investment, in terms of business context. So this all you need to consider. Errors, faults, and failures. The software faults become software failure once they are activated, and there are only the specific portions which have faults. So until and unless you call them, they will not result in terms of failure. Until and unless those functions which have faults are activated, you call them to execute. Otherwise, they will not damage to the software, they will not harm to the software. Like for example, failure of software is another thing, and there is error is another thing. That there is a bug, but we have fatal and we have non-fatal. So fatal errors that cause a system to crash, as I already discussed in the last lecture. Non-fatal, which does not cause the system, to crash, but you can have exception. So this is just to show you that we have errors, we have software faults. Like for this case, 17 software errors, only 8 of them become faults, and those faults, only 3 turn out to be software failure. So this is just to give you an idea. There are 9 causes of software errors. Faulty requirements. Requirements are not clearly extracted, collected from the customer, gathered from the customer. Poor communication between team and customer. Deliberate deviation from customer requirements. Poor project management, like the case of realestate.com, American company, and the Indian company which was developing that software, Infosys. They took 2 years to collect the requirements, to perform analysis, design, documentation, and customer asked them that we need working version, we need working software so we can use it. So that was deviation, what customer was demanding, result in failure of the project. Logical errors, design errors, coding errors. The documentation and the coding standards were not followed as per the template of the company, as per the standards we have. Testing was not poorly performed, like size was so large that company Microsoft failed to test the entire software, the Vista, result in failure. Another example of Nokia. Nokia was the leader in early 2000 in the mobile market, early 2000, and they are using an operating system, its name is Symbian, and they try to add extra features, extra functionalities in the smartphone. Result in size increased they are not able to, the Nokia team was not able to test it thoroughly, not maintain thoroughly, result in failure. And that time Samsung captured the market, and then Samsung is the second leader in the market after Apple company, and somewhere they compete them with the Apple. They are competing to the Apple company. Another example, Netscape Communicator was very popular browser in early 2000, and Microsoft Internet Explorer nobody was using. Even Microsoft introduced freely with the Windows operating system. You purchase Windows, Internet Explorer is there. But still Netscape was the leader. And then they try to add extra features, extra functionalities, result in size increased. They are not able to test it properly, they are not able to maintain it properly, result in failure, and then there is no more Netscape Communicator in the market. And then American Online tried to purchase this browser, but they are also not able to make it successful. Finally project was closed, Netscape browser was closed, no more Netscape Communicator. So these are the three common examples of software failures because of poor testing, and result of the reason was, cause was large size, complexity was there. User interface and procedure errors, documentation errors, these all are common causes of software errors. For example, we have comments on coding. Comments on coding, that you have to comment on the codes to make it easy for the future programmer who will test it, who will update it, who will upgrade it. Another thing, you have to make code neat and clean. You have to use indentation. Like for example, you are using if structure, if else if structure, so you have curly brackets, and then the next if you have to make a tab space and then curly bracket. So code should be readable, code should be understandable, and in this way your code will be very neat and clean and readable for the future programmers who are going to test it, who are going to maintain it, who are going to update it, who are going to upgrade it. So this is the common standards you need to follow minimum to write new code. And there is a guy, it's called documentation guy, as I told you. His responsibility to make code neat and clean, because programmer doesn't have time to follow the standards of the company or templates of the company, and sometimes customers are sitting online and waiting for to fix the bugs or waiting for update in the system so he can use the system. So you don't have time to follow the coding standards and the template. You are just doing at runtime. So there is a guy, documentation guy, he will, after like 1 month, 2 months, he will restructure it, reorganize it to make it as per the template of the company. So this is the coding standards you need to follow. Thank you very much.